finally got a collarbone. Do y'all see that?
What are you doing on that YouTube, eh?
Alright, hey, what's good, beauties, and welcome back to my channel. So for today, I'm going to be kind of opening up with you guys. I open up with you guys a lot. I'm going to be sharing with you guys the real reason I decided to lose weight. I'm sure most of them are kind of like no-brainers, of course. The factors kind of played into me wanting to lose weight just because I do believe everybody has different experiences that lead up to them making that decision and commitment. So I just want to share with you guys mine, and hopefully some of you guys can relate and know where I'm coming from. Just a little disclaimer, there will be images shown in here that if you are not comfortable with dysfunctions of skin and body, definitely just exit out from here. Pretty much, as you guys have watched from my other videos, I started my weight loss journey the end of 2016. I want to say the last week or two of 2016 because it was my New Year's resolution. Around that time, I had just graduated from college. I graduated in December of 2016 from my college. Around that time, like, I was not in the best mental space at all. I want to say anywhere in between my junior to senior year, I was just always super depressed. I was not really happy with myself. I was pretty well known and popular on campus, and I had a really good social life on campus as well. So I was involved in a lot of organizations. I was the president of my sorority. I was an RA, involved in so many exec boards, but I think I had cut loose from some of them because I didn't need that stress my last semester. I was a makeup artist and hairstylist on campus. Then on top of that, trying to maintain and have a social life. So my schedule was just always busy with something. So you can kind of see where my stress was always coming from. I do feel like, you know, even though I was depressed, I had things to keep me out of it. If I ever felt like I was sinking back into my hole, I feel like I was always surrounded by people all the time, but I felt lonely. I just always felt lonely. And I think just with a lot of people who follow me from school, whatever, they would never assume that just because they thought my life looked, I think some people thought my life looked good just because I was well known. Then I had like a big social media following, and you know, my pictures always floating around going viral. So I felt like people may have assumed my life was going a certain type of way because of that, and it wasn't. Around my senior year, honestly, I was just very depressed, especially that last week of graduation. Honestly, I wanted to leave college, but I didn't want to leave college. Like, I wanted to graduate, get things over with, but it was like I was being stripped away from everything I knew for like the past 3 to 4 years. So I had in my mind after graduation, I was just always constantly worried about how am I going to settle and get back home. And around that time, honestly, I had no motivation for anything because my depression had just gotten that bad. Like, I literally just felt burnt out. I had no money in my account because I spent most of it from senior fees. I had no job lined up afterwards because I was honestly just unmotivated to apply for any jobs. I needed a break from a lot of things and a lot of people. So around that time, I noticed I was always so busy, and honestly, I just ate whatever I wanted to. I think another thing that had me really disappointed when it came to noticing how much weight I had actually gained was the fact that I'm very much into beauty. I love beauty, I love hair, I love makeup, all that. But because I was so into like hair and makeup, I noticed I got to a point where I was devoting more time into how good my makeup was looking and not my outfits. Like, I struggled finding stuff to wear. I would wear something super chill but have a glammed out beat face, lashes, eyeline precision to the gods, but my body was just not up to par. I think a little part of it irritated me too because I knew I had the face, but I just didn't have the body to match. I didn't want that. Like, let's make everything correlate right now. Why have one without the other, you know? So, I just needed some changes to happen. I needed to make some things happen. And now this is where I'm going to get into like maybe some gory pictures and details or some stuff that you guys might be like, Ever since I was younger, I've always had eczema, and usually whenever my eczema occurs, it just occurs because I'm eating bad. So whenever I'm eating bad, I pretty much know I need to chill out and not eat bad. I noticed my eczema was getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and it was getting to the point where it looked like someone got an iron and burned me on there, and my skin turned black. Like, that's how bad it had gotten. At first it was a small patch, then it grew and grew and grew, and as you guys can see from some of these pictures here how bad my eczema had gotten. It's literally all of my forearm. It was to the point where it was just growing and spreading, and I just did not know what to do to stop it. And it was honestly embarrassing because I've experienced eczema, but I was always able to have control over it. But this time around, it was still very unstable, and I did not know what to do. My eczema, which only showed up on my right arm, was now starting to transfer on my left arm. It was growing everywhere. Then my eczema started growing on my neck. It literally looked like someone just grabbed my neck and burnt me there. My eczema had got so bad to the point that it started growing underneath my eyes, especially during the winter time, which was horrible because my skin is not usually the best during the winter just because the weather is so harsh on my skin. Honestly, the thing that had irritated me the most when it came to my eczema is whenever I would work out, my sweat would come in contact with my eczema. So it would literally feel like my whole face was on fire, and I would cry. I would literally, after my workouts, during my workouts, I would just cry because I felt like my whole body was on fire. That's how excruciating the pain was. For me, I would sweat profusely, and so it's like all of it would just pour down all over it and it wouldn't stop, and I felt so stuck and so disabled. And I literally asked myself, how did I let my body get to this point to where I'm experiencing more pain than I should have, you know? And it was just one of those things where it's like prevention is better than care, and now I'm having to go the extra mile to care for myself. Now, as far as my eczema is concerned, I am still struggling with it on my arms. I don't know what's going on. I did recently purchase cortisone to help relieve the pain, but if that does not work out, I will definitely keep you guys updated for those of you guys who might be struggling with eczema as well. It was just really frustrating, and again, like I said, it was just the worst type of pain in the world, and I just hate it. I never want to look back on that. I never want to look back on that time ever, because the pain I experienced just from my eczema alone was just unbearable. I had back pains out the wazoo, y'all. The type of back pains I have, I would never wish on my worst enemy. I had the type of back pain where it felt like someone got an anchor hook and attached it to my back and was pulling me down every time I tried to walk. Like, if I had a way to describe it, that's what the pain felt like. I had really bad back pains. I had really bad knee pains because my weight just felt unbearable for me. I could not stand for a long period of time. Then on top of that, my menstrual cycles were not as consistent. I literally would have my menstrual period show up every 3 or 4 months. It was just very, very odd for my body, and I knew at that point it was my weight that was getting out of control. So I was like, okay, I need to get a grip on everything. And because my body just had gotten so bad, I felt so ashamed to go out. I didn't have that self-esteem that I needed going out like I usually did. And if you know me on a personal level, you know I'm not shy. I'm very social, but I did notice my confidence started depleting. I was not that person that I knew I was. And I knew the change I needed to make. It was just hard stepping into it at first. Like I said, 2017 was just a really bad year for me. I literally spent so much time crying. And I wish somebody had paid me to cry last year, because I cried like almost every day. I just remember coming in my room crying, going in my mom's room crying, going in my brother's room crying. I just always cried. Like I just enjoyed it so much. I feel like I've just cried myself out of crying, because now when I get frustrated about something and I want to cry, it's not even as heavy as it used to be. My depression had just got so bad to the point where I was contemplating suicide because I just wasn't happy with my life. I honestly just didn't feel worthy. I was definitely insecure about myself. Now we'll go into another reason that had motivated me to lose weight. So I'm just going to do a brief short story time with you guys. I had a guy friend. Me and him have been cool for like pretty much since I had got to college. We have been like literally platonic friendship the whole time. But I noticed around like ending of my junior year, beginning of my senior year, me and him, we would do occasional flirting. And for me, like, okay, cool, flirting, like, you know, as long as it stays where it's at. I started noticing, like, you know, me and him started growing attraction towards one another, and I was like, okay, like, what are we gonna do about this? Like, are we gonna make this into something or not? Skip all the boring stuff. We had ended up talking, and we have been talking for like a couple, I think I want to say we were talking for a month or so. We had both agreed like we'll start hanging out more, getting to know each other more on that level. So we started doing all of that. Literally, y'all, this is why graduation week was just such a drag for me. The same week of graduation, I ended up finding out he was talking to somebody else. And literally at that point, I was just so over it. And I don't know, it was just really disappointing, because for me, I just felt like, aside from all the intimacy and affection and pressing our liking for each other, whatever, I just felt like we already had a friendship prior to that. I just thought there was still going to be some level of respect and consideration given to the other party. But because it wasn't given, it didn't sit well with me. So like after the situation, I kept asking myself, like, what is it that I didn't do? Was I not pretty enough? Was it because of my weight? Like, oh, maybe if I lost weight, maybe if I had listened to music he listened to, maybe if I was interested in the things he was interested in. Because it got to the point where I literally started tearing layers of myself because I couldn't figure out why someone would hurt me or why someone didn't treat me the way I wanted to be treated. Honestly, with these guys, I just come to realize it's never what you do. It's like, I don't want to say it's always them, because there's some crazy females around here. But I know what I have stored in me, and it's like for you to treat me like I was less than that, it didn't sit well with me. Got into a process where I've forgiven them, but I just don't associate with them like that on that level. So you know what happened? New Year's came around. I was like, Tina, you know what? Stop playing victim. Stop crying. Stop complaining about things you have full control over. Start making some stuff shake. You're not about to sit around and let men make you feel low about yourself. I got so fed up of investing my time in stressing about situations I have full control over. I'm not going to lie, there was a little bit of weight loss revenge involved, but sis, as good as I'm looking right now, I would be groveling for me. Okay, no, I'm playing. I started listening out. I was like, okay, back pains, eczema, knee pain, menstrual cycle, these F-boys, like we're about to cancel all of that and get our stuff together. It's go time. We're about to manifest, snatch, and obtain our blessings. So that's literally what happened. Honestly, y'all, my weight loss journey has been the best thing to happen to me in a very long time, and I'm so happy. Like, there's literally nothing or nobody who can take this away from me, because my weight loss journey was more than just me wanting to look good, feel good, wear certain clothes, get attention from guys. It was beyond all of that. My weight loss journey for me was about reaching my breakthrough. It was about telling myself I'm completely capable of putting my mind to something, committing to it, and reaching the finish line. I hated feeling like I got close to the finish line and I could only look at it but not grasp it. I literally told myself I'm not doing that anymore. It felt like a curse for me that I needed to break, and because I was so adamant about making this goal happen, that's what kept me motivated. That's what kept me pushing. The glow is just very evident, and I feel more confident. I feel more beautiful about myself. I can finally look in the mirror and be happy about myself. Yo, I finally got a collarbone. Do y'all see that? Yeah, that's pretty much about it. You guys, I really hope you liked and enjoyed this video. If you guys want more story times, or if you guys want to hear anything that I go through, or you guys just want to hear me talk on more topics, let me know. Comment down below and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, beauties.